Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my Biafran people, how una day today? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending for where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazenam the Kano. May God bless, 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 may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Biafra, USB, His Excellency, ESN, Ekpa, Simon Njoku, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you, we love you, because we know in your hands Biafra has come. In your hands Biafra will be safe. And in your hands, now that Biafra has come, the people of Biafra will rejoice. When I say the people, I mean the men, the women, the children, the old, the young, the sick, the weak, the mild, the gentle, the civilized and the uncivilized, those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. We shall all come together under one voice, under one accord, under one union, under one government, under one God, to scream for Hallelujah Day, the day that the God of Biafra has made. Fellow Biafrans, you've heard from the Zoom media, you've heard from the tabloid from Finland, media all across the whole world, even Reuters. They are breaking the evil news, the bad news. Something I called foolish news or a stupid news that doesn't make sense. But to the Zoom media, they are happy about it. They want to embellish upon it. They want to rejoice. We've heard the news of Simon Ekpa being charged in Finland. And my fellow Biafrans, this is just a preamble. I will take my time this next 2 weeks. I will expose, lift up the skirt of Nigeria and Finland and expose their nakedness. Because at a time like this, where kidnapping is the order of the day in Nigeria, at a time like this, where Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, Lakurawa, all these various terrorist groups are having a field day in that zoo called Nigeria. At a time like this, where the politicians, they are above the law. At a time like this, where the army, the police, the navy, the customs, they work hand in hand with the terrorists and kidnappers in Nigeria. At a time like this, where the EFCC, their own job now is to play subliminal message. Lord have mercy. At a time like this, at a time like this, at a time like this. Fellow Biafrans, I'm speaking to you, reading the tabloids from Finland, and they are, mentioning all the usual stupid stuff they're talking about there. That our leader, Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, was charged on Friday, I believe the 16th of May, and all those nonsense. It is inevitable because you see, when a country like Finland, they want to rub shoulders with the big boys. They want to rub shoulders with America, with Britain, France, and the rest of them. Then they have to do the dirty job of those third world countries. That's the problem I have sometimes, because my only dismay and disdain is sometimes those living in the Western world, they always ask me, how come the African youths, they risk their life in the high sea to cross over to Europe and things like that. When they make those statements, sometimes it is hard for us to explain to them that those you see crossing those Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, drowning in the high sea, they are doing it because your country in the Western world have failed us. They won't understand this because they don't understand the foreign policies of their government. As they say, a wicked king can be a loving father. An evil king can be a loving father. To the people, the king is cruel, is evil. The king cannot be trusted. The king is someone despised by the people. But in the home, in the castle, his family, they call him daddy. The children call him daddy. Good morning, daddy. Hello, daddy, I love you. The wife loves him. But to the people, to the artisans, to the miscreants, as they call them. They hate him with a passion. The same thing is happening in the Western world, because some of them don't understand the foreign policies of their government. A country like Finland, even when you go to the Scandinavian countries, I've been through all of them. I've lived in all of them apart from Finland. God knows why. And the people are very nice, meek, gentle, humble, very warm, respectful, and the rest of them. Even the government, to an extent. In their homeland, they are very, very responsible. But the problem is the foreign policy, what they do in the backside, in the back end, behind closed doors to bring in those fringe benefits to that country. That's where the problem lies. Same with Britain, what they call the Home Office. The British government, they are very, very in fact, they respect the rule of law. When it comes to countries that respect the rule of law in the world, perhaps Britain is up to the top 5. But the problem with Britain is their foreign policy. What they do outside of the corridors of Britain is where the problem lies. So today, Finland wants to hang with the big boys. They feel like Russia is now causing a problem within Ukraine, and now the need of gas is up in the air. Gas, oil and gas is a problem. So Finland wants to play in the big league, and guess what? They want to throw away their own in order to have all the fringe benefits, in order to send in their agencies, as the president of Finland used to say. He loved to use the word agency. You see me, I studied the psychology of somebody. I've been watching and listening to him for the past 2-3 months. And whenever he speaks about bilateral agreement, he talks about the agency. And yesterday or 2 days ago, I broke down the meaning of agency from the dictionary. So please, fellow Biafrans, ignore what is happening to today. This is just a makeshift. I want to call on Biafrans not to be scared or worried. Please, our elders, I am calling upon you to please ignore this nonsense about Simon Ekpa being charged, because they have nothing on him. Everything Simon Ekpa has done, said in Finland, I can say he copied it from the president of Finland, because the so-called president of Finland, Mr. Alexander Stubb, in all his speeches he's made about Russia and Ukraine war, go and listen to them. They are similar to what Simon Ekpa is saying. So if Finland is tagging Simon Ekpa a terrorist, then the president of Finland should also be locked up behind bars and the keys thrown into the gutters, because he should be more of a terrorist than Simon Ekpa, because in the case of Simon Ekpa, he is speaking for his own people, the Biafrans. Yes, he's a Finnish, but he's also a Biafran, and he is the prime minister of Biafra. But in the case of Finland, he is speaking for another country. He's advocating for Ukraine. So one who speaks for his own people, and one who plays the role of an agency to advocate for Ukraine within the war of Russia and Ukraine. Who is more terrorist then? So please ignore that nonsense. I just want my people to understand that the game is on. That's all we are saying. The game is on. Lord have mercy. At this point, my people, let me show you what's happening, because the question is this. In fact, let me just calm down. The question is, whom do we take the Fulani headsmen to charge them with terrorism? Because we have gone to the UN. We have gone to EU. We've gone everywhere we had to go. But nobody is listening. They pretend they don't understand what's happening. So today, I will show you what is happening in the land of the Yorubas. Because when we speak about the plight of the Biafrans, it seems like the whole world, they pretend not to know what's happening. So at this point, let me show you what is going on in the land of Oduduwa, the Yorubas. The same Fulani killer headsmen, they are still killing people there. Terrorism happening there. But nobody is being charged. They call them born again and all those things. They are repented. They forgive them. They say they are born again. Under 2 weeks, they are born again. Finland don't arrest them. UN don't arrest them. Even America, the superpower, don't arrest them. We've gone everywhere. ICC does nothing. They pretend not to know what is happening. So today, let me present to you what is happening in Yoruba land by the Fulani headsmen. Because when we show you what's happening in Biafra land, the media, they pretend not to see it. At this point, I present to you the happenings, the activities of the Fulani killer headsmen in Yoruba land. If you are ready, let's go there. Watch this. Listen.
Please, Nigerian government should do something. Nigerian government should do something. This is human being. This is the first person. This is another person.
Yoruba land.
Second person. Fulani headsmen. See what they have done to our people in Ondo State.
Fulani headsmen.
See what they are doing to our people in Ondo State. This is the second person.
Okay.
Look at another person, another human being. Look at it. Look at the third person.
Third person.
Human being. Look at what Fulani headsmen are doing to our people. Look at the third person. This is the third corpse. Look at it.
This is the third corpse. People being killed like chicken by the Fulani headsmen. Terrorists they call headsmen. The question is, whom do we go to? Whom do we cry to? Whom do we show this evidence that will come and charge the Fulani killer headsmen as terrorists? This is the question, my people. Whom do we go to? Because we've gone around the whole world. They pretended, they gave us a deaf ear. It's only when it has to do with a Biafran man, Nnamdi Kanu, kidnapped from Kenya, brought to Nigeria. Simon Ekpa speaking in Finland. Even the Finnish government, Alexander Stubb's government, did the unthinkable. They are working hand in hand with Nigerian government, pari passu, with a trust agreement of giving them oil and gas. Whom do we go to? If not us, whom do the Yorubas go to? Fellow Biafrans, this is the problem. Listeners all across the world, it is happening everywhere. Whom do we go to? What you are seeing here is to show you how decaying Nigeria is. No more ambulance in the Yoruba land or in that zoo called Nigeria. When they kill you, no more ambulance. Nothing like 911 anymore. All you have to do is hire a motorcycle, put a plank on the dead body, tie him up, him or her, and allow the keke, oh my God, to take that person to an unknown destination. This is how low that zoo has become. That even ambulance is not there anymore. Nigerians, make shame the Kachuna. The Biafrans are not your problem. Make shame the Kachuna. Ordinary the basics. Ambulance, 999 to call ambulance. It's no more functioning in your shithole. Look at the dead body on a motorbike. You guys, you have adjusted and adjusted and adjusted yourself to a level that now you are being crushed on the wall and you are still adjusting. Praying to God, praying to Jesus. In your prayers, you say, Nigeria go better. We believe in Nigeria. We love Nigeria. We love the government. We love the police, the army. They are doing a good job. Nigeria go better. You have been pushed to the wall, and now you are crushing on that same wall. Nigerians, make shame the Kachuna. What standard are you keeping yourself at? So my people, where else do we go to? Who do we cry to? Whom do we cry to? Because when this is happening in our land, we make all the complaints. We write all the whole complaints around the whole world with evidence and everything. They don't care about it. They pretend they don't even get it. You know, our communications, they pretend they don't get it. But when it's on the other side of the foot, when the reverse is the case, suddenly Finland is now active. Nigeria and this world powers. Terrorism in that zoo called Nigeria, terrorism, but people who are being held is Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria and Simon Ekpa in Finland. Hi, God have mercy. Let's take it back and hear from this gentleman. What is happening in Yoruba land? Listen, please. Listen.
This is
Human being.
Please, Nigerian government should do something. Nigerian government should do something. This is human being. This is the first person. This is another person.
Hey.
This is the second person. Fulani herdsmen. See what they have done to our people in Ondo State. See what they are doing to our people in Ondo State. This is the second person. Look at another person, another human being.
Ew.
Look at it. Look at the third person. A whole human being. Look at what Fulani herdsmen are doing to our people. Look at the third person. This is the third corpse. Look at it. We are live at Alagbaka now. ShopRite area. ShopRite roundabout. Sibgato Road.
Ew.
Look at the third person. Look at the third human being. See what Fulani has done to our people. Fulani herdsmen. See what we are facing in Ondo State too. Ondo State is no longer secured again. See what we are facing.
Are you hearing that? See what they are facing in Ondo State. Ondo State is no longer secured. See what they are facing. I'm showing this to Finland, to ICC, to the UN, and whoever cares to listen. But they won't respond. They pretend not to know what's going on. This is my anger. They pretend not to even see it. Today, I'm not even showing the video of the Biafrans. Today, I've deliberately shown you what's happening at the corridors, the doorstep of our neighbors. Will Finland act on this? No. Will the UN act on this? No. Will ICC act on this? No. Even Nigeria, those that say they love Nigeria, God bless Nigeria, Nigeria go better. The Yorubas is happening in your land. Will you act on this? No. You call it politics. You believe in politics. So this is it baffles me. It beats my imagination that things like this are happening, but no, the only ones they want to focus on is Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. Blame the Igbo. The same thing they did in 1967, 1966. Military men, they carried out a coup. Military men carried out a coup, and they turned around and they put it on the Igbo. They say it's an Igbo coup. Blame the culprits. The culprits will be everybody who is an Igbo man, the eastern region. Blame a whole region for a coup, a military coup. Military men, they carried out a coup, and you somehow turned it to become an Igbo coup. Today, terrorism is ravaging the whole of that zoo called Nigeria. Everywhere you look, kidnapping, terrorism, grabbing of land, stealing of resources, IDP camps, everywhere. Ondo State today is happening here. But no, Nigeria, they're not working to get the culprits. No. It's okay. When they catch them, they say, oh, they are now repented. They are born again. But a Biafra man speaking for the liberation of his people is being tagged by Finland as a terrorist. Fellow Biafrans, listeners all across the world, make this make sense. That's what I'm saying. Allow this to make sense just for once. Make this make sense. That those speaking for their liberation, those who want to defend themselves from the encroaching, the enraging marauders coming with AK-47 and knives and guns, are the ones being tagged terrorists. To Finland, I want you to know that I've lost all respect I have for you. You are a very tiny country with a very small population. You've got nothing on us. You can only show both because Simon Ekpa is based in Finland. You are a nobody, an inconsequential country when it comes to the League of Nations. To the president of Finland, Alexander Stubb, I've lost all respect I have for you. And you can go on doing your so-called business, coming with the agency to render your so-called education and whatever to Nigeria in exchange for oil and gas. Go on and do that. But remember that oil and gas comes from the land of Biafra. We own the oil and gas. And soon and very soon, when we implement Biafra in Biafra land, all deals, all contracts you have with that so-called Nigeria will become null and void. Go around playing games. You are charging our prime minister with terrorism. Go around playing games. You greedy bastards. All you think about is what you can get from a third world country. Selfish interest. You are playing games. Our prime minister Simon Ekpa has done nothing wrong. Go around playing your games. And we shall keep on observing and watching you guys from a distance. Fellow Biafrans, I'll leave it here. I will leave it here. All I want to say is, please, our elders who love Simon Ekpa, please ignore the media and the news you're hearing. Don't allow it to affect your health. Please, I'm begging you. Ignore them. Our Prime Minister, Obatobie Agune Chamber Wakoma, His Excellency, Mazi Ekpa Simon Onjoku, he has no case to answer. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear.
ISIS will enter the zoo and charge. As I told you before, anything you hear on Radio Biafra is correct. I told you on this platform that they will come for you. You see, let me tell you one thing that people don't know because you don't know history. I forgive some of you because in your schools in the zoo they don't teach you anything. I want some people to actually go and sit down and study the history of Islam. Islam is the only religion that has never stopped growing. Islam is the only religion that has never stopped expanding through militancy and war. Others have stopped, only Islam. Islam believes in expanding through war, and that war is coming. Now, I must be put on record. I wanted to record this very broadcast and play it all the time for our people to also understand and listen very carefully. And I will say it tonight. And if you come to me in the future, I'll refer you to the broadcast of the 8th of June 2015, and that I made this very comment I'm about to make now at precisely 10 minutes to 8 p.m. in the evening. If ISIS comes down into the zoo, of course they are part of Boko Haram anyway, if they fall, not if they, because they have forged an alliance already, if they launch any attack with the name of ISIS on the zoo soil, if you come to us to give us weapons, I will decline it. I will allow them to kill all of you before we mount any counter-offensive. Let me tell you one thing that you don't understand. Some of you, you claim you went to school, but you didn't go to school. Because if you went to school, you will understand how Islam works. Islam is coming for you. They must come for you. It's a M-U-S-T, must. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Only you can defend yourselves. ISIS is coming, not just Boko Haram, but the real bad people that are coming. They need access to the oil, and they will get it to secure their financial base for their continued expansion within the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. The zoo is seen as pivotal, and Biafra land is where the resources that they're looking for is lying in. Some of you cannot reason, you cannot see very well because you're blind, but at least you're lucky you're listening to Radio Biafra. Very, very lucky indeed. I'm telling you the truth. Or else I can in your blindness. It is that darkness we've come to shed light on that you can see properly. If they enter the zoo, I will not command this army. And I need guns and I have the men. I need guns and I need bullets. That's all we need. And then we win. I have been sounding this warning. I've been telling you, you think we are joking. They are coming. Your mothers will be raped. Your sisters will be married off as slaves. I'm telling you that now. Right as I speak, write it down. Biafra land will be decimated unless we equip this army to defend us. If we don't equip our army to defend us, in other words, if we don't march this year, it will be very difficult for us to recover. Forget all this nonsense. All these so-called pro-Biafra groups you're saying, Awasa brought them out to confuse you. Awasa brought them out. That is why they cannot say what we are saying or do what we're capable of doing. These are Awasa groups and you are not listening. That's now I want to you are not listening. Because the devil has gone into all these idols that you worship. The devil has gone inside you to harden your heart, to blind your eyes that you can no longer see. That day I will tell you to remember the broadcast of the 8th of June 2015. I will tell you to go back to it. I need guns and I need weapons. If I don't have guns and bullets, the army of Biafra cannot defend your towns and villages. The sooner you get that into your thick skull, the better for everybody. You are black people, you don't reason, I know that for sure. But the sooner you take this very message seriously, the better for everybody. Or else you're finished. ISIS is coming. They will enter the zoo and Chad very, very shortly. Not as Boko Haram, they are coming in as their franchise and as their name dictates. ISIS is coming. If you like, you make haste while the sun is shining, or if you like, you can continue to be dumb and stupid. That is entirely up to you. I won't be there, but you'll be dead anyway. And Radio Biafra will not report it, and nobody will. If you like, you give us guns. If you like, you don't.